very much. Thank you very much. That was my message, International Women's Day. It just tells my story. And my message today here was how I could inspire young people. I say to people, if I can do it, anybody can do it. And I'm not going to read a speech. I'm just share some of my principles in life that's made me what I am today. Come from literate background. I had no sister, no brother. I was an only child. So I had no mentor. Nobody was before me. I couldn't learn at home. I had to learn at school. And I just thought some of the things that help me shape my life. It's that most of it is people who have spoken before me have spoken. I just want to share some of them. They spoke about education. I believe the world is a classroom. You learn from the day you are born until the day you die. You have to have an open mind. Everywhere you go, you find yourself. Take it as if it's a classroom. I had to learn how to sit in public. I had to learn how to talk in public. I had to learn how to behave in public. I did that by watching people. I go to meetings. And I tell people, when I go to a meeting, when I was an activist, I know who I'm going to sit with for breakfast. I know who I'm going to sit with for lunch. I know who I'm going to sit with for dinner. Because I know when I leave that room, I'm going to take something that will enhance my capacity. So you have an open mind. You don't only learn from people who are superior to you, you learn from people who are below you. When I started my career in insurance, I had to be a manager. I was the most qualified in the insurance company, but the person who learned me the job was a clerk. So as you grow up, as you come along, my colleague before me said it here, open your mind to the world. The world today is a village. The people that will teach you, you might not know them. I say to people, I've never applied for a job in my life. But every job somebody recommends me because they come across me. And I give you one story. I was a civil society leader in Sierra Leone. Kofi Annan was visiting. And one of my civil officers, and I want you to know, is strategic partnership and strategic networking. When I go to meetings, I collect cards from everybody. People I've sit with, I told you I know breakfast, lunch, dinner. I keep their card, I come back home, I connect with you, I tell you what an amazing time, and I establish that network. My network grew around the world. I email, that's good. And Kofi Annan was coming. This SRSG at my level under Secretary General, I went to him as a civil society leader. I said, no, he can't see you. His program. The chairman will tell you, when the head of state is coming here, by the time everybody knows the program is closed. He said, you can't see him. I said, no, it's not possible. I connected in one of my network. I reached with him because I know he knows Kofi. I tell him Kofi is coming. They told me that I cannot. He said, don't worry, I'll send me a fax. He said, actually, Kofi had asked me to come with him, but he's a journalist, big journalist in the UK. He said, but I told him, for your sake, I'll go. And he contacted Kofi. Kofi office sent instruction to the mission in Sierra Leone. Kofi wants to meet Zainab Bangura. The SRG was very angry. I had no place they could put me, only dinner. Because every other program was closed. It's back. So I invited to a private dinner. I was running the biggest human rights organization in my country. I had staff behind rebel lines everywhere. So I was on top of everything that was happening in the war in Sierra Leone. I called them all back. Let's sit down. I'm a Muslim. You know Muslim will memorize. Those of you who are Muslim, you learn the Quran, will memorize. I sat down with them. They gave me every commander in the war in Sierra Leone, where he was, what he was doing. And Kofi came, invited me. I went to the dinner. And he said, Zainab, how are you? I opened my mouth. When he went back to New York, he said, meeting Zainab Bangura was the highlight of my trip. That's how I ended up in the UN. Because he realized when the mission was opened in Liberia, he wanted Zainab Bangura. I already got the job before I applied. Because they wanted me. I was the biggest human rights organization in Sierra Leone. When the special court was set up in Sierra Leone, the prosecutor they were interviewing these girls who have been raped during the war. They were talking languages which the prosecutor, an American man, knows that these are crimes. But he cannot find them in any law book. So he said to me, oh my God, what am I going to do? Because I need to protect this girl to defend them. So somebody told me, you need to talk to Zainab Bangura. Because when I was writing my report, Amnesty International, Human Rights Watch, they were collecting information from me. So he came to me. I said, I'm not a lawyer. He said, but everybody told me you are the one who understands the war in Sierra Leone more than everybody. He said, I want you to do a report for me because I want the judges to hear your story and the story of the girls. Cut a long story short, he paid me $11,000. I wrote the reports. My report was presented to the court for the first time in international law. The phenomenon of bushwife became an international crime. The gang raping, everything. I wrote the report, I interviewed, I traveled across the country. Then Hillary Clinton in the US insisted that sexual violence in company should be a crime. They fought at the Security Council. She chaired the Security Council meeting. And they agreed. And they set up the office. And the Secretary General Ban Ki-moon said to her, now you've created this office, you said you will provide money. Find us the person who is it. I was Minister of Foreign Affairs. The prosecutor who I worked with in Sierra Leone that prosecuted the crime was the ambassador at large for war crimes at the State Department. He said, I know the person. He said, Zainab Bangura. He said, who is Zainab Bangura? He gave him my history. That's how I joined the UN. Because when I joined in Liberia, I went back, I became foreign minister. So I was foreign minister when this office was created. Then they called me, they said, you have to come, or you have been nominated by Hillary as Under Secretary General in the UN. So in crisis, there are opportunities. As a civil servant, you have to realize that you have opportunities coming every day knocking at your door. Take advantage of it. Nobody has monopoly over knowledge. Every situation, I'm not a lawyer, every situation I find myself, I've surrounded myself. One lesson I have learned is I know my weaknesses. I know them. So when I hire staff, I hire people who complement me. So we make a very good team. I don't hire somebody who can talk like me. No. I can't write because my brain moves faster than my mouth. And my mouth moves faster than my hand. I can sit in you there, I'm thinking of 4 or 5 things. Everybody knows that about me. So my staff, when they want to write a speech for me, they sit down with me and I talk. I talk, and they go and write, they come. If they go and come back, what did you say yesterday? I don't remember. So what do? I hire people who write better, who write very well. I'm not ashamed of it. I hire staff who complain. So when you're in a position, the first thing you have to know in life, what are your strengths? We are all different. And I don't waste time on people's weaknesses. I have staff in my food. We all have weaknesses, including myself. So I focus on people's strength to bring out their best. Because people remember what you make them. When you have a team you're working in an office, bring everybody on board and put the problem in the center of your relationship. Because when people bring their strength on the table, everybody, then the work can go forward. So when you're a servant, don't feel humble. They've talked about it, humility. You have to be very determined. You have empathy. I was SRSG, I was covering 19 countries. I was foreign minister, I would sit there, the chairman will tell you. Sometimes these donor people come, they say things to you, and I look at this, how are you coming to tell me what I do in my country? But I keep quiet. So when I got the opportunity to serve as Undersecretary in New York, I treat government, president, and minister the way I would have wanted somebody to treat me. I listen to them. I understand their weaknesses. So everybody in New York, my friends said, why? You are the only USG in Kenya where the Russians and the Chinese, everybody loves you. I said, because I behave like a human being. I go to countries, when I engage government people, I treat them the way I would have wanted somebody to treat me when I was Minister of Foreign Affairs. That's what I do. I respect them. I support them. Yesterday, one of our colleagues, I can't call the country, she's been appointed as RC. She ran and she came, I have to see you because I have to learn from you. I work with government officials the way I would have wanted somebody to work with me because I want them to succeed. I support them. I encourage them. I don't dictate to them. So in life, that's what you do. Determination. You want to succeed, be determined. You have to have empathy. Humility, they've shown it's compassion. And I think, as I said, unfortunately, time is against us. All I wanted was to share my life's experience to say, if I can do it from where I come from, my background and everything, so can you. Always understand when you think about it, you dream it, you can do it. Nothing is impossible. That's why no matter in your journey, somebody talk about your journey, you will fall down several times. Don't stay on the ground. Don't fall on your face, fall on your back. So you look the sky, then you understand the sky is your limit. There is nothing you cannot do. I said to when I pray to God, I'm a very spiritual person. And I pray to God, I said to myself, I never in my life would have imagined I'll be in this position. But the last thing I want to leave with you people is faith. Is faith. Your relationship with God has to be personal. Because in my biggest challenges and problems, I always pray and say, give me the strength to withstand it, because I know it's a matter of time. When you have a stronger faith, you will never fail. Because man can fight you, but God will redeem you. Thank you.